I'm Jim Kircher, and we've got a bit of history coming up, actually quite a bit of history. We're going to start off with a story by Paul Shankman about an industry that used to be pretty big in St. Louis. Most of it is gone, but there's still plenty of evidence around if you know what you're looking for.
Yes, the 1963 Corvette Stingray is the sports car with a European heritage, but an American biography.
No biography about the history of the Corvette would be complete without a chapter about St. Louis.
This is 65.
And no biography about the history of the automobile would be complete without a chapter about St. Louis. Or, in this case, 7 chapters.
What was being done at St. Louis between, say, 1900 and 1930 is just forgotten. This city has an amazing, rich automotive heritage that unfortunately has really never been told.
I am a history geek, I'm a car lover, and the opportunity to bring all of those stories together within the pages of a book was far too tempting to ever turn down.
Molly Butterworth used to run St. Louis's National Museum of Transportation. Tom Eisel is just an old gearhead. And together they have written a book about the St. Louisans who tried to rewrite the rules of the road. It is made up mostly of black and white pictures, illustrating the story of St. Louis's colorful automotive past, which grew out of the city's cycling past.
Even though St. Louis was smaller than many other cities in the country, it had more miles of paved roads within its city limits by 1890 than almost every other city in the country.
The book takes its title, They Will Run, from an old advertising slogan used by the St. Louis Motor Carriage Company. Not as memorable as
Ford has a better idea.
But what They Will Run lacked in poetry, it made up for with practicality.
People didn't necessarily have confidence in their vehicles because those vehicles had not yet earned that confidence. If your rig ran from your house to your destination and back, you could be excited about that because that was not an everyday occurrence.
Many of St. Louis's early car makers were German immigrants who knew how to build a wagon and later learned how to build a carriage, first powered by horses and then by horsepower.
Almost all of the original St. Louis auto builders started building cars as a second or third or fourth career step. These successful companies were started by someone who had a mechanical basis. The companies created by dreamers who didn't have the hands-on knowledge or skills rarely survived and sometimes didn't even make that first car.
If you include all the no-hitters along with the heavy hitters, St. Louis's 30-plus car builders and suppliers, and there were lots of suppliers, accounted for at least 20% of the city's economy.
The zenith of the independent St. Louis-built automotive manufacturing was, I would say, from about 1905 until around 1928, 1929, right on the cusp of the Great Depression. St. Louis was building for quality, Detroit was building for quantity.
The biggest motor plant in the world is needed to make the million 6-cylinder engines demanded annually by the American people.
Detroit had the big three, Ford, GM, and Chrysler. But St. Louis had its own smaller big three, Gardner, Moon, and Dorris, which really wasn't so small.
At one point, Dorris had 3 different plants operating, building everything from the sports cars all the way up to the commercial trucks.
One of the things we like to say in presentations is to use one of their slogans, built up to a standard, not down to a price.
They often cost, by the early 1920s, about 10 times what a Model T would cost you. So they were certainly built for and targeted to the affluent.
Model Ts were made in St. Louis, too. This apartment building on Forest Park Avenue was the city's first Ford factory. But most of the cars coming out of St. Louis were not those mass-produced monotonies. They were rolling sculptures with the sort of names usually found on a hotel, like the Ruxton, the Windsor White, and the Victor. There was even a budget model, audaciously named the Success. It failed.
Many of these cars were essentially hand-built. In a sense, they were not built on a Ford-type assembly line. It's another reason that you see such a small number, relatively speaking, produced. I mean, even when we think about the Moon being one of St. Louis's most famous vehicles, we're talking about anywhere from 2,000 to 8,000 cars a year, where Ford would put that many out in a day.
When you consider back in the day, architects were actually brought in to design many of the cars. They were works of art.
Big-name architects also designed many of the factories because the buildings where the cars were made were often the same buildings where the cars were sold. This building, now the Center for Emerging Technologies, used to be one of the Dorris factories.
All over the city, there are these landmarks remaining that if you know where to look, you can find them. If you go down on Locust, a beautiful facility, the Packard Lofts, is the original Packard showroom, which was a gorgeous building in its day and a very expensive building.
All up and down Locust here in this general area between Compton and Jefferson was Automobile Row, and this particular building was a Ford Model T showroom.
Today, some of those buildings have markers telling their backstory.
This was literally the showroom floor, this like beautiful hand-laid hex tile. No one lays tile like this anymore. It was a showroom. It was a place not to go and like drive off the lot. It was a place where you were going to go and you were going to have a conversation and learn about the cars and things like that. So it was sort of a different experience.
The good times lasted for more than 30 years, but the Great Depression caused the bubble to burst, though in the case of the Moon Company, it was more like a slow leak.
Ultimately, the company failed. 1931 remains to this day the longest corporate bankruptcy on record. Was not settled until 1966. So if you're waiting for your money from your Moon investment, you had a long wait.
The end of St. Louis's golden age of car building was not the end of the line, just a shift to more assembly lines. By the 1950s, St. Louis, known for being first in shoes and first in booze, was second only to Detroit when it came to building cars. The big three all had large factories here. Today, GM Wentzville is the only one left. St. Louis's automotive glory days are now visible only in the rearview mirror. But what glorious days they were, when St. Louis was the place to be if you were a dreamer hoping to reinvent the wheel.